Good afternoon, everybody. This is former Pennsylvania State Constable Stephen Wiggs of the 16th Ward, Allentown, Pennsylvania. And I'm coming to you guys right now with a little walk. I'm in the Roosevelt Elementary location, as Roosevelt Elementary is over that way toward Susquehanna, and I'm in Roosevelt Park of the 16th Ward, Allentown, Pennsylvania at this point in time. Now, I came here because I wanted to basically do a recap mentally of who I was for the community and, just take a breath of fresh air, just take a breather, and reflect on what took place in my battle for my agency, the rights of my agency to protect the constituents of the agency, and ultimately the whole of the Commonwealth, Pennsylvania. I literally started out with the idea that my job was to serve the judicial system, like many of us in the agency. And after becoming a part of the agency, and going through the educational period, I had the idea that my job was to serve the court system. Well, luckily, I had become a part of an association that properly educated me thoroughly on the true stance of the agency, so that I had an idea to exercise other options to generate some type of revenue for the agency to function. But that operation did not come right away. Now, the state originally and wholeheartedly, still to this day, only promotes the idea of the court system. And what they also do is they scare guys from the agency away from performing any other services, by telling them that they cannot perform any services outside the judicial system, and they cannot use the traditional elements of a law enforcement official to be effective in their operations, such as having red and blue lights, bullhorn, marked vehicles, things of that nature. Through the educational period of my association and other officers within the constable's system, I become a lot more bolder to hold the office to the right manner, which is to be the peace officer of the community. So in that attempt, I sought to educate the community and follow the education through actions by providing the peace officer of the agency. And in those attempts, I've ran into a lot of dramatic situations with the other agencies, such as the Allentown Police, the Pennsylvania State Police, even the Lehigh County Sheriff's Department, ultimately the DA's office, and the Pennsylvania State Police. So as I gotten deeper into the push of the natural elements of the agency, I found myself at tremendous odds with these other systems, given a harder pushback, but to my surprise, who was also at the pushback was other constables. Other constables were feeding the other agencies with lies, to put batteries in their backs, to further promote terrible propaganda against the agency. Ultimately, these guys did not want the constable to be looked at as a traditional officer of the law, when in fact the constabulary is the original officer of the law and the protection of the community surrounding the Commonwealth, Pennsylvania. As I got deeper into the push of the agency being recognized as the traditional peace officer through my actions, court battles ensued, and I got into more and more turbulence. As the turbulence got a lot more rocky throughout the time, I fought harder. I made my presence even more known, and ultimately it was pissing a lot of people off. But I really did not care, because I had a firm stance in what I believed, which is, if it's right, if it's the law, if it's the agency was supported, then that's what I was doing. I was lied to about the idea of the constable serving the court system, like as far as it being the sole job of the constable office. It's an element that the constable has the ability to perform in, but it's not the primary function of the agency. The primary function of the agency is to be the peace officer of their community, basically taking care of their constituents, being a presence in their community, no different than the municipal police departments. So the constable is the original peace officers of the land. So with that being said, that's what I pushed after running into or becoming bombarded with fellow constables kicking my back into my magistrates, or before I even got to learn and become known to my magistrate's office to serve through my agency, my name was already tarnished. So therefore, I had no job security within the judicial system. So once I lost a few things, certain personal items, home, cars, stuff like that, I became drunk off of the idea of pushing the agency the right way. A lot of these other systems would not take credit for what they've done that helped create this new way of thinking for me through the agency. Instead of them taking credit for what they have done to me in terms of poisoning my name, poisoning my stance before I could even serve the judicial system, they would fight me further on the idea of me taking more of a peace officer stance in being a part of the community as a peace officer. That's the route that they took. So I fought harder, I fought back, and it ultimately led me to where I am today, fighting with Essex County, New Jersey. The fight with the troopers comes underway as I interacted with many motorists along the highway in Philadelphia County, as I had the authority, providing laws, facts, no one's opinion. I didn't just provide the laws, I provided actions, and they used taxpayers' dollars to attack me, and ultimately lost their battles against me. which prompted them to get me set up in Essex County, New Jersey. And the Sheriff's Department of Essex County, New Jersey took the bait, and now I am on my way back to court to overturn a wrongful ruling against me as an impersonating officer, or impersonating a police officer, and carrying my weapon illegally in New Jersey. But in the community of Allentown, here in the Roosevelt Park area, this area, I have had a strong stance as a peace officer here. You know, I've done a lot. I've cleaned up this park. I've protected the community here. The students in the community knew who I was and knew that I would stand thoroughly and honorably. The citizens thoroughly understood. I would patrol the 16th Ward. I've given them patrol vehicles. I've given them a uniform. I've given them a strong stance through one man. You know, I've done things that a lot of constables would not do. You know, no one makes a constable get up and get out the house and go be a presence in their community after they're elected to the agency by the citizens. No one makes a constable go out and get up. Now, granted, because the citizens don't know the true stance of the constable office on a mass level, they don't know how to actually utilize their constables the way that they are supposed to be utilized. Like, they expect the municipal police departments to take their stance. You know, a lot of people expect the municipal police department and the state troopers to be there for them because they're tax funded and they're paid by the citizens through tax dollars to be that stance. Well, no one thinks of the constable the same way after the constable is actually elected by them. Everybody, you know, in Pennsylvania, you know, they'll elect a constable and don't know what their jobs are supposed to be in the community. A lot of people are misled into thinking that the job of the constable is to serve the court system, because that's what majority of the constables do in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Well, I'm here to tell you that, you know, that is just one function, and that's not the primary function. The primary function is to serve as a peace officer in the community. There's supposed to be a presence just like the municipal police departments, you know, and the Pennsylvania State Police in many areas. So, because the citizens are ultimately plagued with lies, they don't get to enjoy the presence of the constable being their peace officers. I provided enough leeway into knowing what that looked like. You have constables out there and other officers that is actively providing peace officer stance. And, you know, currently right now we got constables being fought by other guys in other agencies because they don't know how to accept the agency. The reality is the constable is the chief of his office. They give the say. They set the policies according to law. You know, the constable is the elected official. No one tells the elected official what to do with their agency. The municipal police officers don't supersede the constables over their office. The state police don't supersede the constables over their office. The sheriff's department don't supersede the constables over their office. So therefore, no one should be calling another agency with regards to an elected official from the constable office. If the constable has identification or has a way to identify that he or she is the constable, then everyone is to respect that, and that's it. Move forward. My stance in the community was peace officer. I also served in the judicial system, not here in Lehigh County, but in other areas of the Commonwealth. And me serving in other areas of the Commonwealth, other counties within the judicial system, also solidified that the constable is a state officer and not is not bound by their local jurisdiction of which they are elected. So, because I stood up for the office in the right manner, I was attacked. And now I got certain guys out there fighting. They see the real need for the agency to stand up, stand strong. So they're fighting to put the agency back the way it's supposed to be. But still, on a mass level, the pushback is still there. And that's what we are trying to overcome. I greatly thank you guys for taking the time out to take this little walk with me right now. And hopefully, on a mass scale, we get to put things into the right perspective and keep it there. So until next time, you guys be safe, and we'll continue this soon enough. Peace.